Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I think I am folding my laundry because I just got back to Washington and I'm trying to get myself all settled back into real life, but I don't have a lot of time to do that. So I'm going to multitask for just a couple of minutes until we get this conversation rolling. If people are going to be hanging out, we are now to 48 hours, almost to the exact, that was my underwear, minute of the webinar. The webinar is coming up on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't make it, it will be recorded. So keep that in mind. If you are stuck in an abusive relationship, if you can't figure out why you're stuck, if you can't understand why it's so confusing, if you're feeling guilt and you're like, what's wrong with me? There has to be something wrong with me because I can't get out of this situation, whatever. This webinar is going to be really helpful for you. We're going to be interviewing the author of this book, Why Can't I Just Leave? Author is Dr. Kristen Milstead. There will be myself and 4 other survivors interviewing her. And the final 30 minutes, the audience will be able to ask questions. So again, if you can't make it, it will be recorded. It's going to be super informational, super helpful. The link is in my bio. The Beacons link right now in my bio will lead you to the tickets. Also, I have a highlight on my page that's going to have some more information, who's going to be there, how to get tickets, what it's about, etc. I'm just going to read really quick the little description we have here, some of the things that we're going to be talking about. We will be learning how to identify what keeps you stuck in a bad relationship, the definition of a narcissistic drama triangle, which, oh my God, you'll feel like someone's been watching you and like studying your life and your relationship. When I learned about that, I was like, well, yes. And how it leads to endless fights. We'll be talking about how to figure out if you're living with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. or Mrs. I don't know how to pronounce the MX for non-binary folks out there. Hyde. How to break the trauma bond with your narcissistic, hopefully ex-partner, and the 7 ways to leave and which is best for you, and how to take control of your life and jumpstart your healing. So those are the 6 topics that we will be really diving into. Again, we will be leaving time for the audience members to ask the author questions directly at the end. Now that I've said my whole spiel, I'm going to circle back and see some of the comments that I missed. Hopefully those who commented are still in here. Hey, Kat, are you still in here? How's it going? Hi, Amy. Try the SudShare app to avoid laundry worth the price. I live in like a tiny little pueblo, so probably not going to be where I live. Needed this live. Definitely stuck. Stay-at-home mom trying to get out. I feel for you so much. It is very, very difficult to leave a relationship, whether it's abusive or not, when you're a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom when I left my marriage, and I had to go back to work, and I'm very lucky that I had the ability to go back to work and to generate my own income, but it doesn't make it makes it a little easier. But it's very, very, very difficult, especially if that person is abusive and threatening you and wanting to take you to court and wanting to fight you for custody and all of that stuff. It's very difficult. So I see you. My daughter is currently in front of me trying to nap, so I can't put the volume on, but definitely stuck in the abuse cycle. He won't even let me get a job so I can get my own money to leave. I really wish that you could hear me right now. I will save this onto the replay just because this might be helpful for you later. It is definitely a tactic when abusers won't let someone have a job, won't let someone make their own money. Like some families, like if it's a healthy family and everyone like genuinely agrees on the setup of the family and like the money is agreed upon and everyone feels comfortable, like great. But when someone is saying this is what you can and can't do with the money, like that's financial abuse. And not allowing you to get a job is also financial abuse because they're essentially pushing you into a corner and trapping you in there and not allowing you to have any way to escape, essentially. This is touching home already. It's mix. Oh, thank you so much. I've had to use this professionally recently. Thank you. I've seen it and I'm like, is it mix? But I've never had to say it out loud. That's why I was like, mix. I signed it. But I appreciate that so much. Now I can pop that in whenever I need to. I'm so happy you got out though, and I hope to be another success story. Thank you for your videos though. They make me feel like there's hope. Thank you so much. That's really one reason why, also because I just don't want to. Like, there's so much more to me than just this part of my life, but that is one reason why I have held on to keeping, especially my Instagram, I am a person. I'm a sign language interpreter. I'm a mom. I'm a lesbian. I love to travel. I have dogs. I like plants. I like to be active. I speak Spanish. I have ADHD. There's like so much more to me than just this one thing that happened. And I want to be able to like share my story and what I went through and like the knowledge that I have now acquired through my trauma recovery coach training to give that back to people. But I also want people to see that there's so much more to me and that there is hope and that you can be happy again and that you're gonna keep struggling. It's not, my life isn't perfect. My life isn't always, it's not all rainbows. It's not all rainbows. That's the name of my podcast. It's just, that's the reality of recovering from abuse, but there is absolutely hope, and you deserve to be happy and you deserve to heal and you deserve to be living in a calm state where you can heal your nervous system that's been jacked up ever since that person came along. So thank you so much, Julie, for your comment. So does anyone have any other questions about those 6 things that I listed off? I'm happy to name them again. Obviously, the webinar is Thursday and we'll be deep diving into those topics. So I don't want to like host my own webinar here without these amazing people who are going to be on the webinar with me as well, and without the author of this incredible book. So yeah, we're not going to do our very own webinar and go through all of it. But if you have any questions, or if you want to know if the webinar is right for you, if it will be helpful for you, is it safe to go to the webinar, all of that, let's talk about it. I'm curious about this abuse triangle. So the drama triangle of the narcissist actually is, you have I want to make sure that I have the names right. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. So there's the triangle. There's 3 roles that the narcissist will play in the relationship. And as soon as I say this, you're going to be like, yup, that's how it is. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Here it is. So it starts with the hero. The hero comes along. They make you feel like you found your soulmate. They save you from whatever situation you're in. You're usually really vulnerable when they find you, so they save you. And then the bully shows up. So the mask drops. They're bullying you. They're causing problems. They're causing fights. They're projecting. They're blame shifting. They're making you feel like absolute shit. And then the magician shows up, and the magician wipes away whatever just happened with the bad guy. So they'll come on and gaslight you. They'll come on and say, I never said that. I didn't mean it. Baby, I love you so much. I was just really upset. Make excuses for their behavior. And you magically forget the horrible things that they've been doing. And so we're going to really dive into that, why they do it, why it's effective when you're in this abuse cycle, and so on and so forth. So did anybody who just heard that, I know I said it really quickly because again, I want you to, if possible, to go to the webinar and like see it live, hear it from the author, hear the questions that myself and the 3 other survivors / content creators are going to be asking of the author, rather than like, again, having my own webinar right here 2 days before the actual webinar. But like, I really want you to, like, if these things feel like they're going to be helpful to you, I really, really, really want to direct you to that webinar because it's a great way to help. I think right now we have like 200 people who are going to be attending the webinar. So if that makes you feel any better, you are not the only person who is stuck in this cycle, who feels crazy, who feels all alone. The 200 people are either trying to figure out for their own life, their own situation, or trying to figure out for someone that they love or someone, that they might encounter at some point that's going through this. How do you join the webinar and when is it? So it's this Thursday, August 18th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It will be recorded. So if you can't make it, you can go ahead and still purchase a ticket and it will be emailed to you once the recording is like all set up and ready to go. And so you can watch it on your own time later. This is especially good for people who are still in abusive situations and maybe their abuser is home at 6:30 p.m. and they can't just sneak into the other room without them being like, hey, what the hell are you doing? How to join. I will post the link again in my stories after this conversation. But I do have the link on my Instagram and TikTok as well. The Beacons link, if you click on that, it will take you to like all my websites, all my social media and all that stuff. But it'll have like webinar, get your tickets. So you can get your tickets there, or there's a highlight on my bio called webinar, and you can click through there, see who else is going to be there, see some of the information about it, and you can find the link in there. So if you feel like this is going to be helpful for you, I'm not a great salesperson because I don't like to be pushy and I don't like to like just sit here and be like, everyone needs to go to this. But I really do feel like it's going to be an amazing resource. And again, you can always watch it later. I wish that I had been able to go to a webinar like this and see these other creators. It's going to be Manjeet Ruprai, Lisa Sunny from Stronger Than Before, Bree from Abuse is Abuse, and Dr. Carrie McAvoy. All of us are survivors of narcissistic abuse. Some of us had, not myself, but narcissistic parents. There's at least 2 of us that had narcissistic parents. All of us have had, actually, I don't know if Bree might just be parents, just like that's nothing, but all of us have been through serious shit and are all giving back and, making content, coaching. 3 out of the, I don't know how many of us, 3 out of the 5 of us have read books. So it's going to be a really awesome group of people at the webinar. So yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions? I'm happy to just keep babbling away. But definitely let me know. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the book or the webinar, but like, if you have any questions that I can help you with while I'm here, go for it. I will fold another towel to make myself feel like I'm actually doing something right now while it's quiet. I'm not very good at sitting still. That's for sure. Thanks for the likes. Is that because I folded a towel? I appreciate that. That shirt's coming with me to Mexico. I've done like 4 loads of laundry today. I'm over it. It's really hot in my house because if you don't know, when it does get warm in Washington, we don't have AC. So it gets pretty warm. But it's all good. Y'all are just going to watch me fold towels. Well, I can keep going. I can absolutely keep going. And yeah, I fold towels very, very sloppy. So there you go. If you're on YouTube, you have like the wide angle here so you can see the greater mess in my room. Instagram is just like, hey, there's nothing behind me but my pole. YouTube, it's like let me see what YouTube can see. Oh, cool. You can't see the suitcase over there. That's just like strewn about. This is me. This is my life. Howdy, Chica. How's it going? Is your trip over? Are you back yet? Long-term marriage. I know this is the behaviors, but my kids are the hard part. Yes. Having kids with someone, especially who's legally responsible for the kids, makes it very, very difficult. There are some creators that I can suggest to you who have made it out and are parallel parenting with their abuser. Lisa's one of them. She will be at the webinar. But I don't have experience with that. So, hey, I'm in Spokane. Awesome. I have never been to Spokane. Why do narcissists drain your money and force you to give your money to them? Because they're entitled. Because you suffer for it. If they use all of your money, how are you going to get out? You don't have any money yet. You have to give the money. You don't have any money left. You have to give them all of your money. You don't have any way to get out. Where are you going to go? And also because they're entitled. And that is financial abuse. Got back Monday, 10 countries in 3 weeks. That's awesome. That's the life right there. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for your comment. I always appreciate that you all feel safe enough to share these things with me, because I know it's hard, and I know that a lot of times we don't have people in real life who support or understand what we're going through. Narc parents, can you post our Instagram tags to follow content too? Yes. The one you're asking, so I got a private question, and someone asked if I could share their Instagram handles. And so you want the people who are sharing content about having narcissistic parents. One of them is going to be Manjeet Ruprai. Let me see if I can type this on here for Instagram here. And she actually wrote a book about narcissistic abuse. And this was one that really survival guide for toxic narcissistic relationships. And she does have a narcissistic mother that she has low contact with. And she's also experienced abusive relationships. And then another one is going to be Abuse is Abuse. I think it's just abuse _ abuse. So that's in there. And I can't remember who else. If you haven't heard the Narc Avengers, there's like a group of 16 of us that are trying to get, we're on TikTok and Instagram now. I'm not running it. I don't have time for it, but basically sharing like some of our videos from like between the 16 of us, and just to help spread awareness and things like that. But we're also going to be starting to do meetups. And I will be at the meetup in Austin, Texas on October 15th of this year. There will be, I think, 8 of us there, and we're going to be doing a meet and greet that's free for you to come to. And then we'll be offering like one-on-one coaching sessions in person. And so there's like a lot of us that are kind of like starting to work together to keep the momentum going to help people. And there are other people in the group that have narcissistic parents and talk about that, but I can't think of any right now. So I hope that's helpful. What are some of the small things that make you feel free that you never realized you felt so restricted on? So, like being able to, it's a really hard question, because even just like saying these things, like I just felt my chest get tight, and like, not to make you feel bad, like, oh my God, but like, it's just something that like you trace it back, and it's just like the smallest things that like should have never been an issue. But like, I just made a video on TikTok a couple of days ago and posted on Instagram today, but like sneezing and knowing that I won't get yelled at, making a mess. Like, I'm in my room right now, but like, knowing that I'm not going to get in trouble if the house isn't perfectly clean, because we just got back from 3 months of traveling, and my son wanted to get every single toy that he hasn't seen in 87 days out. And I was like, kind of stressed about it. And then I was like, actually, you know what? This is okay. He's 4 years old. This is what he needs. This is what my son needs right now. He doesn't need to get out of the house. He doesn't need to do anything else. We don't have to have like this amazing day full of activities. He just needs to make a mess. He just needs to see every single toy, do an inventory, and just like knowing that nobody's going to come home and yell at us. Like, it's very simple. I think just like being able to make choices on my own and not to worry about it's always about not having to worry about getting in trouble. Just being able to exist and be myself, wear what I want. So now I'm really going, you really got me going. Being able to wear what I want, being able to laugh without fear of being criticized. Okay, so I'm going to stop because this could really go on forever. I think my sister's a narcissist, but sometimes I wonder if her partner is really the narcissist, and the way she treats me is a product of that. How do I tell? I'm in the same boat. I don't think that my sister's partner is a narcissist, but there's some real issues there. And I can't tell if my sister is just like super miserable because of what she's experiencing in her relationship and being unhappy and not having the help she needs and being overwhelmed, or if she's like always been an asshole. And I've been researching, like, is my sister a narcissist? But then I'm like, you're crazy. You cannot have that many narcissists like in your inner circle in your life. Like, it just feels crazy to have that thought. So I feel you and I hear you and I understand you. I don't really know if there's a way to tell if she's in a relationship with someone who you suspect is horrible to her, because the only way to, like, I feel like separate that is to separate them, to have them separated for a time and then be like, oh. But I will say this, whenever I go visit my family in Indiana, I don't like my sister at all. And I create massive amounts of distance between us. But the couple of times that she's come out to visit me wherever I live, she's a totally different person. So I don't know what that's about, but I hope that that helps you understand that. I mean, it's not helpful, but it could be either one. And you'll probably never know as long as they're together if that person is causing it. Thanks a bunch. You're welcome. Austin, yes. Austin, Texas, October 15th. Small things, I'm sure, are making videos so freely. Well, yeah, being able to tell my story, because I wasn't allowed to. It didn't even cross my mind that I could tell people what was actually going on. Like, I would very cryptically tell someone, like, I just recently found a conversation with my friend, and I took a screenshot of it because I would like to share it at some point, where I shared something, again, publicly on like an in-feed post. I shared something that my abuser said to me. My abuser said that I wasn't a good person. And I cryptically was like, someone recently told me that I wasn't a good person. So, no, I don't know. Now I'm thinking about this. What do you think makes a good person? What was really happening was that they were projecting, because they know very well that they're not a good person. They don't treat people very well. They don't like who they are. And they know that I am a good person. And they were projecting that onto me. And it did hurt me, because I have the ability to self-reflect and to be like, am I a bad partner? Probably. Yeah, I am a bad partner right now. And my friend asked me who said that. And I was like, you're not going to like it. And she guessed it. And I was like, yeah. And she started asking me questions like, are you okay? Like, that sounds like a really horrible thing to have a partner say to you. And within a couple of like little interchanges, I was like, you know what though? Like, they're going through a hard time. And like, you know what? It's like, it could be so much worse. And like, just immediately like protecting them. So yes, the ability to say, yes, they did this. This is what happened. This is how I felt about it. You know, this was how I acted in the relationship or whatever too, because that's important to acknowledge. But like, being able to just say words without thinking that I might not make it out of the house because I said the words. Talk to who you want. Yep, they isolate you. The laugh one hits me. That's such a relieving feeling that I remember having had to. And on the same note, crying freely too. Yes, crying. I really, really struggle with crying. I still fight really hard to control when I do cry. I try to keep it really minimal, because I was severely punished for crying. And this has become like a therapy session for Lindsay. And that's not what this was supposed to be about. But I do know that me sharing these raw, vulnerable things, it does help people. So thank you for giving me the space to do that. But I did make some content like a while ago about noticing that my actual, like my genuine laugh disappeared for years. And I started replicating their laugh, which their laugh is a very forced, fake, like robotic, like, I'm not going to actually do it because I don't want to like mock them. But like, I started having that laugh. So something would happen, I'd be like, ha, 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 whatever the laugh is. And it wasn't until like, I don't remember where I was, but I laughed out loud and it was my actual laugh. It was several months after I went no contact and I just froze, and I'm pretty sure I cried because I was like, where were you hiding? They rob you of your joy. They rob you of your laugh. They rob you of everything about you, all of your identity that other people like about you. They take that from you because you're not allowed to laugh genuinely because they get mad at you for being happy. You know, it's just like, it's crazy. Maybe sometimes our environment brings it out of us. Yeah, I mean, you can't heal in an environment where you don't feel safe. Some people will say you can't heal in the environment that made you sick. So if your sister is being abused, is being treated horribly, she's miserable, she hates her life. I don't know your situation, but if you seem to be happier than her, maybe you have a better relationship or your kids are better clothed or better behaved or something, she hates you right now. That's where I'm at. I'm pretty sure my sister does not like me because I freed myself of 2 relationships that weren't serving me, and I travel with my son, and I do all this stuff, and she's stuck. Whether it's because he's abusive or not, I don't know. They're definitely not healthy. Also, if my sister ever finds us, she will probably, yeah. So we should probably change the subject about my sister. I might have said too much. Thank you for sharing. I absolutely have Googled, is my sister a narcissist? Sharing your connection helped. Yeah, it's rough. Chica, I live in San Antonio. I want to meet up in Austin. It's less than an hour from me. Maybe your crew can do dinner or something with me or whatever. We'll be sharing, once the website is like up and running, we'll be sharing the schedule. Like, I'm going to be booked solid for the whole weekend. Like, we're going to be, it's all planned out. And I don't know if I'm bringing Adler or not, but we're going to have like, it's going to be free, the meet and greet. Anybody can come to it. I do think you have to get tickets to be able to come in to like the venue where we'll be hosting it, but you'll get to meet all of us, talk with us, hang out. I don't know if it's going to be at a restaurant, if it's going to be at a coffee shop or a bar or what. I don't know exactly. I'm not part of like the planning side of this. I'm just like, let me know where I have to go. But yeah, it's going to be really awesome. So stay tuned for that then, Jen, because when I start sharing, I'm going to start sharing it like on my stories and things like that, saying, hey, this is where we're going to be. Go to the website to get your ticket. So you can come and meet me / us. Hey, Murph, how's it going? Hey, Jasmine. Watching you do all the most common anxiety body grasps and hand movements right now shows how deeply affected you are. We're, again, glad you so glad you got out. So I didn't realize I was doing them. So thank you for saying that, because sometimes with the comments that I get on some of my videos that go viral, I never want to talk about it again because I think, oh, I might be making this up or I might have overreacted. And of course, I know that I'm not, but like whenever someone says that they saw at the time my body language, the way they were around me, because a lot of people actually saw like live how they treated me, like how miserable I was. And then like seeing me now, like someone today just complimented like how far I've come, like emotionally, and how aware I am, and how like whatever. It was a really, really lovely compliment, which almost made me cry. But like just being seen and having other people acknowledge like I don't need it. Like I'm not like, oh no, my phone's freaking out now. Okay. Like I'm not like everyone compliment me and validate me, but like when it happens and it's like so random like that, I can't tell you how much it feels good when you're discussing exact stories. I mean, yes. Yeah. When I recall, yes. Yeah. I just left. So like when I'm making like a TikTok and I think of something, I'm like, I'm just going to make this TikTok about this. It doesn't bother me because it's like, I'm just making a TikTok about something that happened and I'm going to spread awareness and hopefully help other people. But like, if you ask me something specific like that, and I'm like I go back in my mind, and I'm sure you do too, if you're able to talk about things and you've been there, and it's so vivid. And, so yeah, it's not fun. Thank you for seeing me. Well, maybe she will wake up if she finds this. Probably she will just never talk to me again. But self-improvement makes a lot of people uncomfortable. It really does. Like people aren't ready. A lot of people aren't ready to. Healing sucks. Having to dig in and acknowledge what caused your pain, what causes your pain, how you got into this bad situation in the first place. Like, wow, I was really set up to fail. It's not my parents' fault, but holy crap, I have to deal with that. I have to fix that so that I don't do that again. I have to heal my relationship with my mom, with my sister if I can, forgive myself for what, like all of that stuff. It's yucky, and it's a lot easier to just keep our heads down, keep coping with like alcohol or being a workaholic or whatever it is that keeps us from having to look inward, blaming other people, like just constantly like, they did it. Well, they did do that, but also I have work to do, right? And a lot of people don't want to do it. And it's fair. Like I wish that everyone would and could and had the knowledge and the resources and the support, but it sucks. maybe your sister needs help. I think she does need help, but she's not ready to receive help. She's the way that she reacted to me when I set a boundary was very, very, very familiar to me being talked to like that. So I felt like I did the right thing when I set this boundary with her when I was home. Like, this is like my nervous system can't handle our interactions. I got to take a step back. And yeah, the way that she responded to me was very narcissistic. I don't know what she has going. Like, I can't understand why she is the way she is, but basically she made it clear that I'm to her, I am pretentious because I'm doing my healing and I'm healing out loud and I'm doing all this stuff. And she's like, well, you just do what you need to do with your healing. And I'm like, okay, you don't like it. You don't like it. I get it. I get it. So we didn't talk for like the rest of my time home. But my mom did kind of like my sister was dropping her kids off on Monday, the day that we left yesterday. And my mom was like, she was like crying and she was like, come. And I was like, gosh darn it, I got to go hug her, don't I? And so I went out and I hugged her. She hugged me and I cried. And so it felt better than just leaving things like that. But I don't think that we'll be in contact for now for a while. Cause like I said, she thinks I'm pretentious and I think she needs to start healing, but I can't tell her that. Like, I can't tell her that. I have bipolar. Well, hello. Does anyone in this little community have advice for how to gently respond when a partner who's healing hurts you emotionally in a lash out? Your partner is healing. Your partner is healing, but got triggered by something that you said or did and lashed out at you. I just wanted to clarify and make sure that I'm understanding correctly. To anyone who's in here that missed it, the webinar for this book, I will be on it with 4 other survivors. This is Thursday. We have 48 hours from right this moment, 48 hours, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going live. Tickets you can find. There's a link in my bio. The Beacons link will take you to the webinar tickets link, or you can find the link on my highlights called webinar. If you want to come, if you're stuck in an abusive relationship or you know someone who is, you have a family member who you suspect is a narcissist, this will help you. I promise you. So again, let me know if you have any more questions about that. Yes, I surely have lashed out at people since I started my healing journey. Narcissistic mom says sometimes when we get in a small disagreement, he gets ruder than necessarily quickly because he's triggered. Yeah. I've come a really long way with that, but I can still, like, for example, Ad's dad can, how do I say this? I don't want to blame it on him. I can get incredibly triggered by Ad's dad. He can say something and I'm like, like, what? Like, instant. I don't get that way with a lot of people. I'm just going to use that as an example. Honestly, the best thing to do is probably, and I don't know the partner, stay calm. Like, want to be careful not to be hurtful, but still express you hurt me. Yeah, I don't know how close you are. I don't know how good your communication is, but like afterwards when he's calmed down, saying something like, hey, I know that this like healing is really, really hard for you. It sucks. And I know that what I said, I did not mean to trigger you, but I know that I said something that triggered you. And I'm sorry that happened. It must be really hard. Like, I'm just thinking, like validate what he's feeling, and however way you want to, and then say, when you got really upset, you said things that really, really hurt me. And hopefully he can validate your feelings too and say, shit, yeah, you said something and it just took me right back to when I was living at home with my mom and she would do this thing and it just drove me crazy and I felt powerless because whatever it is, the situation. That's like healthy communication of like both of you able to say the thing, both of you being validated, and then both of you having that attunement at the end. You have the relationship rupture And then you get back together and you're like, okay, I hear you and I see you. Okay, I hear you and I see you. It makes sense you did that. Yeah, it makes sense that you were hurt. Okay. Or vice versa. And then being able to close it out and like keep getting stronger and better and doing that. He will often say he lashes at me more because I'm closer and he feels more judged. He feels more judged by you. About that, can you ask questions ahead of time if you cannot make the event? If you want to, you can. I don't know the answer to that. You can send me the question and I'll send it to the moderator and have her put it in the chat for the author to answer. So send it to me in a DM. How much is the book? I'm sorry that I have a learning disability. I think it's probably $15 or $19. I'm just making that up. It's no more than $20 on Amazon. That's because you grew up together and know each other so well, I guess. All right. Hola.
Mama?
Yeah?
What?
What?
Dinner's ready.
Okay, I'll be right. Did you help make it? Awesome. My dinner is ready. And as you saw, the cutest boy on earth for me, because all of us mamas know that our kids are the cutest on earth, wants me to come eat with him. So I'm going to go. Please, if you have any questions about the webinar, if you have any concerns about the webinar, Mr. Adler with the long hair, I'm sure his dad's going to get his hair cut the second I step on the plane tomorrow for my little solo trip. But yeah, DM me and I will try to clarify anything that you might need. I really do hope to see, I won't see you at the webinar because there's going to be a lot of people there, but I really hope that if you go to the webinar, you'll DM me afterwards and let me know what you learned, what you thought of it. It's going to be a really, really awesome resource. If you can't go or don't need to go, share the link in your stories because you never know who might need it. So share it, get the word out there. Because again, it's a lot cheaper than coaching and therapy, which also very important. And we hope that all of us can get there at some point, but it's a cheap, concise way to get a lot of really important information out there to a lot of people. So thank you all the way from Australia. Thank you so much for being here. Just wanted to say I found your account after cutting contact with a narcissistic parent. I really enjoy your content, which has been extremely cathartic for me. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much, you guys. I can't tell you enough how much those comments mean to me. They keep me going when I want to give up. This is really, really important. And even though I might have days that I'm like, I don't want to ever do this again, I'm still here for y'all. And I'm gonna keep doing it on the days that I can do it. So thank you again. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for trusting me with your questions. And again, the link is in my bio for the webinar on Thursday. I'm really excited and a little nervous because it's going to be my first webinar. So yes, see you all later. Take care. Drink some water.